Our topic is 8.5b, solve linear inequalities in one variable, including those for which the application of the distributive property is necessary and for which variables are included on both sides. Solving inequalities are just the same as solving linear equations. It's just that this time it's not an equal sign in between two expressions. It's going to be inequality symbols such as less than, greater than, or less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. And then we're going to go ahead and plot our answer on a number line. Let's try this one on your notebook. You practice with me as I go, okay? So we have variables on each side of this inequality. We need to cancel one of them by undoing its operation or doing the inverse operation. This cancels out. On the other side, 6x minus 2x is 4x. Then bring down the rest of the expressions, including the inequality sign in the middle. Make sure you are copying the correct signs of each term. Now that we have a monomial on the right side, let's go ahead and trim down the left side. You want to go ahead and make sure the 4x will be all by itself. So we will cancel the negative 4. The inverse operation of minus 4 is plus 4. You have to do the same thing on the other side of the inequality. Now the last thing to do is make sure that x is all by itself by doing the opposite of multiplication, which is divide. And we're going to go ahead and divide by 4 on each side. Therefore, the value of x should be less than or equal to 4. Next, let's solve 3a minus 15 is greater than 4 plus 5a. We are trying to cancel the plus 5a. That's why we're doing the opposite of it, which is minus 5a. You have to do the same thing on the other side. So this cancels out because they're opposites. While 3a minus 5a, they're different signs, so that's going to be negative 2a. Bring down the rest of the inequality. Now we have a monomial on the other side, on the right side, which is 4. So we'll leave that for now. We'll leave it alone for now. What we're going to do is make sure the negative 2a with a variable will be all by itself. So we have to cancel that negative 15 by doing plus 15 on both sides of the inequality. Let's do the opposite of multiply, which is divide by negative 2 on both sides. Now we change the original inequality symbol into its opposite, which is from greater than, it became less than. Okay? Why? Because we were trying to divide by a negative number at the end. If that happens, you're dividing by a negative number or you're multiplying by a negative number, then you have to reverse the inequality symbol. Okay? And less than will represent this open circle, and everything to the left are shaded because it's less. Everything to the left of negative 9 and 1/2 on the number line is less than negative 9 and 1/2, not including the negative 9 and 1/2, because it says less than that. Therefore, we don't include it by having a circle that's open. Let's do or solve 11y plus 13 is greater than or equal to negative 1. Since negative 1 is alone on the right side, let's go ahead and look at the left side. We have to make sure that 11y becomes alone or by itself. So let's go ahead and cancel out the positive 13 by doing its opposite, which is minus 13 on both sides. Now we do the opposite of multiplication. Divide both sides by 11. Here we don't have to reverse the inequality symbol. Why? Because the bottom number we're trying to divide with is not a negative, okay? It's the negative 14 on the top. But if it's at the bottom that we're trying to divide with and it's negative, then that's when we reverse the inequality symbol, okay? Let's solve 6n plus 12 is less than 8 plus 8n. Cancel 8n on the right side by doing its opposite. Now on the left side, cancel the positive 12 by doing minus 12. Do it on both sides, don't forget. Now let's do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So we will divide on both sides by negative 2. Remember that if we're dividing by a negative number such as this, we will reverse that symbol from less than to greater than. So on the other side, negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. Therefore, this is our final answer, n is greater than 2. Since n is greater than 2, we will leave this circle unshaded, okay? We will have everything shaded to the right except the circle because it says it's not equal to 2. Now, let's define a variable, write an inequality, and solve each problem, okay? Let's start on number 13. It says negative 3 times a number plus 4 is no more than the number minus 8. So negative 3 is written this way, times a number, let the number be x, plus 4 is no more than, that means you cannot go past higher than that number, but you can equal to it. So where are you going to go is equal to it or go lower, okay? That's what we meant by no more than. Therefore, the symbol for this, the inequality symbol, is less than or equal to. You cannot go higher, that's why it's less, but you can go equal to that number and go lower. The number minus 8, x minus 8. Before we move on, let's have a review of how those inequality symbols look like on a number line. Let's say x is less than 2. How are we going to plot it on a number line? And how will that symbol less than will look like? Is it an open circle or shaded? So look for the positive 2. It's here. Plot a circle. Do not shade in because it says less than 2. It doesn't say an equal sign at the bottom, so you're not going to shade in the circle. Now it says less than 2. Anything less than 2 is going to the left. So this number line always represents a less than. Remember, it's not equal to 2, that's why the circle is open and not shaded. What about if it's x less than or equal to 2? Look for the 2 on the number line. Now this time that circle should be shaded because of that extra line that means equal to. It's still less than, so everything to the left are shaded. This time it's x greater than 2. Look for the 2 on the number line. It says greater than 2, so it's not equal to 2. Okay, so you're not going to shade in that circle. It will remain open. Everything to the right of 2 are greater than 2, so they will be shaded. So this is how a greater than symbol will look like on a number line. Now x is greater than or equal to 2. Since it's now equal to 2, you have to shade in that circle and everything to the right of that 2. Now, you have to memorize or understand these number lines and the inequality symbol they represent. Now let's move on with solving the given inequality sentence. Cancel the 1x by subtracting an x. Cancel the positive 4 by subtracting 4 on both sides. Divide by negative 4 on both sides. Now, why did we reverse the symbol, the inequality symbol, from less than or equal to greater than or equal to? Because we divided by a number that is a negative. Remember, that's the rule. If you're dividing by a negative number or multiplying by a negative number, you will have to reverse or do the opposite, get the opposite of that inequality symbol. Now let's plot this on our number line down here. It says greater than or equal to. Everything to the right are greater, so you shade in everything to the right. And it's also equal to 3, so shade in that circle. Isn't it the greater than or equal to looks like this? It's just that this time we have x greater than or equal to 3. Okay? But still, they look the same. Let's move on to the next, and then we're going to go Look at the other problems on our next page. 1/4 of a number decreased by 3 is at least 2. When you say at least, it's already the smallest, so there's no way you're gonna go smaller. That means you're gonna go higher. So at least means you have greater than or equal to that number. You have to go higher because that's already the least. Cancel -3. Multiply both sides by 4 to cancel out that 1/4. No need to reverse the inequality symbol because we're just multiplying by a positive number. The dot should be shaded because it says equal to as well. And everything to the right are greater. Now, I don't want to confuse you on this part wherein I multiplied by 4. I know it's a multiplication here, but I'm just trying to get rid of the 1/4. And by multiplying by its multiplicative inverse, I can still get 1x here because 4 times 1 is 4, 1 times 4 is 4. So that's still 1x. It's okay too to divide both sides by 1/4. Let me show you that. And we're still gonna get x is greater than or equal to 20. So this is multiplication between 1/4 and x. So let's divide by 1/4 on both sides. Dividing by fraction, we keep change flip. Multiply straight across. And therefore, we still get the same answer, which is x is greater than or equal to 20. Don't forget to copy this on your notebook, this part here. You may pause this video and copy all this so you're not going to go forget. So just like solving equations, when solving inequalities that contain grouping symbols, first use the distributive property. Then undo the operations, just as you would solve an equation with more than one operation. And take note of all this on your notebook. Let's use the distributive property with this -2 being multiplied by each term inside the parenthesis. -2 times positive 6a is -12a. -2 times -4 is positive 8. Bring down the rest of the expressions. Let's do the distributive property on the other side. Distribute that -1 to each term inside the parenthesis. -1 times 4a is -4a. -1 times 6 is -6. Go ahead, combine like terms. Also combine like terms on the other side of the inequality. Cancel -4a by doing plus 4a on both sides. Cancel positive 8 by subtracting 8 on both sides. Divide both sides by -5. Don't forget to reverse or change the inequality symbol from greater than to less than because we're dividing by a negative number at the bottom. So our final answer is a less than a positive 2. Let's plot a less than 2 on the number line. Since it's less than 2, it's not equal to 2, the circle will be open or not shaded. Everything to the left are less than 2. So shade them. Solve 2 times the sum of t plus 3, close parenthesis, is greater than or equal to 16. 2 times t is equal to 2t. 2 times 3 is 6. Cancel the positive 6 by doing -6 on both sides. Divide both sides by 2. Our answer is t greater than or equal to 5. No need to reverse because we're not dividing by a negative number this time. So you're going to keep the same symbol. Plot the point, which is going to be on top of 5. It's greater than or equal to, therefore the circle should be shaded and everything to the right. Let's solve the next one. Do the distributive property first. 3 times d is 3d. Positive 3 times -2 is -6. Cancel -6 on this left side by doing +6 on both sides. Collect or combine like terms, such as 3d minus 2d can be subtracted. Therefore, our final answer is d is greater than 22. So the circle, when we plot it on top of 22, it should be open, okay, because it's not equal to 22. But it's greater than 22, therefore everything to the right are shaded except the circle. Let's do item number 4. There is a distributive property that needs to be done on the right side. A negative 1 times y is a negative y. Negative 1 times positive 14 will be negative 14. Combine like terms. Now get rid of that negative y by doing positive y on both sides. Subtract 10 on both sides. Divide both sides by 5. Our final answer is y is equal to negative 3.2. Now there's no need to change that symbol because it's not a negative under our fraction, or the number that we're trying to divide with is not negative. Although the top number is negative, it's still going to be the same symbol. It's just when the bottom number is negative, then we're going to switch that symbol around, okay? So our final answer is y is greater than negative 3.2. Let's plot it on the number line. So a negative 3.2 should be somewhere between a negative 3 and a negative 3.5. And it should be open because y is not equal to it. But y is greater than. So that means everything to the right should be shaded. Twice the sum of a number and 4 is less than 12. Twice means 2 times. 2 times of the sum. Sum of what? A number and a 4. So it should be, or they should be inside a parenthesis. That number, it could be an n plus 4. Do the distributive property first. 2 times n is 2n. 2 times 4 is positive 8. Get rid of the positive 8 by doing the opposite, which is minus 8 on both sides. Now divide by 2 on both sides. N should be less than 2. Go ahead and solve the next inequality sentence. Don't forget, you can always rewind this video. Good luck on your homework, show your work, and I'll see you in class. Bye!